Shalom Mubaraka Mishpaka. Peace and blessings, family. In this video, we're gonna level up even further of how water can benefit you. How water can not only benefit you, how it can benefit others around you once you understand how to use it properly. All right, the knowledge is coming out. This is the age of information. This is the time that knowledge is being increased in the earth. So listen to this. I'm going to explain it to you guys. Very simple. Water is a liquid computer. Every bit of information that it has came across is still stored within that water. It is constantly gaining data and knowledge. It has an extreme memory and it can activate at any given time. It's important for us to understand that without water, there will be no consciousness. The very action of you thinking something in your head is a miracle. How does that work? Well, human beings are 70% water, and most of the water that is in our bodies is in our brain. And our brain is 90% water. So if it did not have that water, there would be no consciousness within the mind. This is why the mind is so powerful. It's full of red living water that has the ability to process information and to create things as well. Not only does it have the ability to process information and to create things, it also has the ability to destroy things. And you have to understand, what did Solomon mean when he said there is life and death in the power of the tongue? You have to understand something here. Your words can truly harm somebody. Your words can truly make somebody better. It's important for you to speak positive words to people as much as possible. Because when you say words with a negative intention behind them, that changes the molecular structure of the water within them. When you tell a child that you're stupid, you're dumb, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, guess what? That's going to actually affect them mentally. This is what I do with my child all the time. When she hurts herself, she comes up to me, she says, Abba, I hurt. And she wants me to kiss it. So I kiss it, put positive energy. I say all better, just like that. And she said, all better. She clap her hands, she run away. And to a huge, extreme extent, I believe personally that it actually works. You know, scientifically, this is called the placebo effect, meaning because you think it works, it starts to take a physical manifestation and actually starts to work. Well, there was a guy who went to the doctor, and the doctor told him, man, you have cancer. And the guy was very distressed with the news.
A man goes to the doctor, isn't feeling well, is diagnosed with cancer. The doctor tells him, we actually interviewed the doctor. He told the patient that he had a terminal cancer and that he had a very short amount of time to live. And the patient said, well, I just want to live through Christmas, and after Christmas, I really don't care. I just want to spend time with my family. And so on New Year's Day, 1 week after Christmas, he dies. When they do an autopsy on his body, he never had the cancer that could kill him. I mean, he died by thought alone.
That's the power of the placebo effect. That's the power of believing. When you think something, you're using the water of the mind, the living water of the body, the living water of the universe, which we call blood. And you are actually creating something with the thought. You are actually creating an entire reality based off of that thought. My mom told me a story about her classmate who always used to say, oh, I'm going to die young. I'm going to die young. He used to say, oh, man, I'm going to die young. What happened to him? At only 23 years old, he died. Blood clot right in the heart. And he died. Because he used to always say, oh, I'm gonna die young. I'm gonna die young. When you say things like that, Every single cell of your body, all 15 trillion cells in the body, hear that. Each of these cells filled with water to the brim are listening to you say, I'm going to die young. And what happened? He manifested this wish, basically. Even though he probably didn't want to die young, he believed. Maybe he didn't even believe it, but he continued to say it repeatedly over and over. And that's how spells are cast. Once you become in tune with yourself as a human and be one with nature and be one with Yah and do the things that you are supposed to do naturally, you will literally be able to hold a container of water in your hands and think of positivity. Think of love and happiness. Once you be able to control your thoughts and your emotions, that is, give that water to somebody and tell them to drink it. And they'll feel an overflow of those same emotions. You can look at water and think something, and that water will either be poisoned or healed. Water is a liquid computer, like I said. And all water is connected. Everything that has the breath of life also has the fluid of life, which is water. I told myself I wasn't going to teach about blessings and cursings because that's dangerous. I'm being led by the Spirit right now. There's a reason why people say your eyes are the windows to your soul, because you can bless somebody. If you look somebody in the eye and you see any red veins or blood vessels in their eye, you are seeing their living water in their bodies. And you can say to their eye, look at their eye and say, abundance will come your way. Happiness will come your way. Peace will come your way. Harmony in your life will come your way. Positivity in your life will come your way, etc. Just continue to say it. Look them in the eye and say it to them. That's how you bless somebody. Why do you think people were able to do that in scripture? You know what I'm saying? I didn't even want to teach people that, but that's something. I feel like that's something that you need to know. You know, and let me tell you something. You can curse somebody the same exact way, but here's the thing. When you curse somebody, it's extremely risky. Never curse anybody. Let me tell you why. You should never curse a person, though. Because it takes a highly spiritually trained person to know whether a person is on the good side of Alila Ki Alila, the neutral grounds of Alila Ki Alila, or the bad side of Alila Ki Alila. Let me break that down for you. What is Alila Ki Alila? Alila Ki Alila is what the world knows as karma. It means action for action in Hebrew. Now, every person is affected by the Alila Ki Alila cycle at all times. Alila Ki Alila looks like a wheel. It's related to the word Galila, which means wheel. All right. So Alila is a wheel that affects people at all moments of every single day, every single person in existence. So a person is either always going to be on the good side of Alila Ki Alila, the bad side of Alila Ki Alila, or the neutral grounds. So what does that mean? That means if I have done enough bad to people around me, if I have negatively affected people around me, all that energy has to come back to me. You understand? It has to come back to me. What I give out, I shall surely receive back. So basically, every time I've harmed somebody, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally, that energy has to come back to me. And if I'm currently sitting at a lot of negative Alila Ki Alila debt, then it'll be extremely easy for somebody to curse me at that point. However, if I have not harmed the world around me at all, but instead I've helped people and I've done what is right in the earth, and I have helped people thrive, and I've sent out love and kindness and mercy and truth to other people, if I've healed people, if I've done what's right in the eyes of Yahuwah, I'm going to be on the good side of Alila Kilila. And the more good debt I have, the stronger I will be spiritually. Now, here's the thing. Oh, also, the more good is going to come to you. It might not come to you immediately, just like the bad is not going to come to the bad people immediately, but it's called debt. Sometimes it depends on how y'all wants to do it with you. He either pays back to you immediately or he'll let it build up and then let it fall on you all at once. It depends. Now, here's the thing. If a person is on the good side of Alila Kilila and they have good things coming their way and you curse them, that curse will repel them and it will come directly to you. So if I go up to a person who has positive Alila Kilila right now, he has good things coming towards him. This is what people call a blessed individual, a Baruch individual. This is somebody who's under the blessings of Yahuwah. Anybody who has positive Alila Kilila coming to them, positive Alila Kilila debt, is a blessed individual. So if you go up to that person and you curse that person, that curse, whatever curse you put on that person will come back to you. So that's why I say, never curse a person. Because you gotta, look, who are the people in scripture who cursed people? You had people like Noah. You had people like Elisha. I can't even really think of that many people on top of my head who verbally put a curse on another person. But all the people who did it, these were not regular people. These were people with extreme spiritual gifts. These were people who could know if a person's on the good side of Alila Kilila or on the bad side of Alila Kilila. And they would never curse a person who was on the good side of Alila Kilila because they understand how the wheel rolls. If that person is on the good side, it's going to bounce off and it's going to hit them. Right? So if those, like, for example, when Elisha cursed those 42 children, those 42 Hittite children in Bethel, and in the name of Yah, and called 2 bears to come out the forest to tear them. If those children were on the good side of Alila Kilila, guess what? Those bears would have came and attacked Elisha instead of those children. So that's why you have to understand, never curse a person. And people in ancient times knew how to curse somebody. This was common knowledge. That's why it says, anybody who curses their father or their mother shall surely be put to death. If you read modern translations say anybody who insults their mother or father. No, that's not what it says. Like if I call my parent fat, now I gotta be put to death. Because the insult is an opinion. It depends on what that person defines as an insult. It's all subjective. It's opinion based. Therefore, the modern translation that says he who insults his mother or father shall be put to death, that is a false translation. It says he that curses his father or mother. A curse is very simple to understand. If you curse somebody, if you curse your mother or father, you put a curse on your mother or father, if you look at your mother and the father in the eye and curse them, it's very obvious to know what a curse is. You shall surely be put to death. Whether the parents go to the priest and say, look, he cursed me, or whether Yahuwah himself has to do it, that child will be put to death. See, that's why I say I don't want to tell people about this stuff, because y'all can try to do it. But I'm being led by the Spirit right now to teach you guys blessings and curses. I don't want you to curse anybody, not even your worst enemy, because you don't know who's on what side of the wheel they're on at any given moment. You do not know that yet. You're not on the level of Elijah. You're not on the level of Elisha. You're not on the level of Noah. You don't know who's on that level. So you cannot curse somebody to their face. Blessings. That's what we're going to deal with. This is how you're going to bless other people. That's how you got to look into their eye. That's why people say the eye is the window to the soul. And the white man used to tell black people, don't look at me in the eye. Because they understood the powers that we had, that we knew. If you want to help your neighbors with the plants that they grow on, If you live in an area where the people growing crops, well, look, here's the thing, man. When the rain falls, speak to the rain. Speak to the rain. Speak that positive energy to the rain. Say, go upon so-and-so's crops. Go upon so-and-so's crops. Let the plants grow in abundance. If they just lay seed down in the soil, run into their yard while they're not looking and say, grow, 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 grow with abundance. Feed this family. Don't ever speak death on nobody's seeds. Because if you do that, guess what? That's putting you in allelic debt. Negative allelic debt. This information I'm giving you the positive. I'm giving you the knowledge of good. The words of our mouth, our tongue are very powerful. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. There was like I told you guys, there were slaves that used to kill their slave masters just by speaking it. That's what. Then the first thing they used to do when they used to capture the tribes, the Indian tribes in America, they would muzzle them off, and sometimes they'll blindfold them, lead them, and just have ropes on them. They'll be walking, don't even know where they're going because they can't even see. And then when the next generation of children are born, they'll brainwash them to make them forget their abilities, make them forget how to curse somebody, how to bless somebody. They took the children away from the mother and father as soon as they gave birth for a reason. They had to take the children away immediately so they did not have the chance of being taught by their parents. And by the third generation, nobody would have the knowledge anymore. It would just be lost because nobody's around their parents anymore to get taught this stuff. And then if anybody hears anybody talking about it, of course, they'll whoop them, torture them. But let's get back to the plants, man. You can get somebody's plants to grow. You can, if you can get your own plants to grow. Try it out. Kitchen, take a bean, germinate that bean, which means put the bean on a napkin, close the napkin, wet it. Let the bean germinate. Put it inside some soil. Speak negative words to it and see if it's gonna do any good. Do this for about a month, and then take another bean. Do the same thing. Speak positive words to it and watch it flourish. Take another bean seed, germinate, put it in the soil, and don't say anything to it. And you're gonna see it's gonna do okay, but it's not gonna do better than the one that you spoke positive words to it, right? It's definitely gonna do better than the ones that you spoke negative words to. And you have a control, and you have the negative, and you have the positive. Do this experiment yourself and see that the positive words will make the plant grow better. This is an experiment that I discovered when I was in 10th grade in biology class. My teacher said, come up with an experiment and we're going to do it. And everybody, mind you, everybody in my class were junkies. All they cared about was drugs, sex, parties. So nobody had an idea for an experiment except for me. So I said, because I've been woke to this stuff since around 10th grade. I've been knowing about this stuff. I said, why don't we take some seeds, germinate those seeds, put them in soil, and it's going to be 3 cups of soil. In 1 cup, we're going to say to the seed positive words. In the other cup, we're going to say to the seed negative words. In the other cup, we're not going to say anything at all. This was my idea, guys. And I can tell you for a fact it worked. And everybody was so surprised because at first people just was like, oh, this ain't really going to do nothing. And then they actually started to see that when the whole class was going up one by one to the positive plant, saying something positive, and the whole class was going up to the negative plant, talking about, fuck you, I hate you, bitch, etc. They was having a lot of fun with it. But then they realized really quickly that what I was teaching them in 10th grade had a lot of truth to it. So I've been teaching people this for a very long time. And you're going to see it in your life. You're going to notice it. The plant that we spoke positive words to, first of all, it sprouted before any of the other plants. And then by the time it grew like 5 leaves, the neutral, the one that we ignored, started to come out the soil. And then it wasn't until way later that the negative plant started to come out the soil. Then when it came out the soil, it started turning yellow and it died. We gave all 3 cups the same amount of water. I got to take home the cup where the seed did the best, and it actually grew, and it made like 5-6 beans. And I didn't really eat them because what I'm gonna do with 5 beans. Now the experiment that I'll be doing with you all is I'm gonna cook some rice. As soon as I'm done making this video, I'm gonna cook some rice, and I'm gonna put the rice into 3 jars, and I'm gonna fill them with water. And we're gonna see which rice starts to ferment first, which rice ferments the worst, and if one of the jars of rice does not ferment at all. I'm gonna speak positive words to one jar, the lid open every time. I'm gonna speak negative words to the other jar, and I'm going to ignore the other jar. And I'm going to see the molding process, the fermenting process of all these jars. And it's going to be about a month that I'm going to be doing this every single day. And I'm going to mark the containers with Sharpie. I'm going to have red for negative and blue for positive, so you know that I'm not changing the jars or altering the experiment in any way to deceive you guys. And this will work. I already know for a fact that there's been thousands of experiments where this same thing has been done, and it basically has worked every time. However, it's still unscientific, and that's why the scientific community will still just say it's a coincidence. Yeah, really, a coincidence that happens every single time. Well, it's not unscientific. It is true. So I'm going to be doing that, and you guys are going to see that this stuff works. So when rice gets moldy and all this other stuff, that's the same thing as a human getting a fungal infection, a bacterial infection, a virus, a sickness, a disease, a cancer, right? So if my words can prevent rice from getting a fungal infection, my words can prevent a person from getting sick in any kind of way. Positive words are vital when you're talking to people. Now, if you watched this video all the way through, congratulations. You might really be a Levite. I made this video boring on purpose. I didn't add any music. I didn't put any pictures moving around the screen or anything like that. I had it boring with just me talking because the information that I'm presenting is not for everybody, and I don't want everybody to know it. When this video gets uploaded to YouTube, it's not going to get that many views, hopefully. Now, if you've made it to the end of this video, here's what I want you to know. It's time for us to start verbally blessing the children of Yasra'al. And how do we do that? Torah tells us how the Levites are supposed to Levitically bless the children of Yasra'al. He told us what words to say. But I'm telling you right now how to do it. When you bless a bloodline Yasra'ali, you have to stand next to them and look them in the eye and say the following words. Yahuwah Barakatah, Ushamarata, Yahuwah Panaya Awur Atah, Uchanata, Yahuwah Nasa Panim Alata, Usumata Shalom. This is how you bless the children of Yasra'al. It's basically a blessing of protection, a blessing of Yah being with you, and this is how you set the name of Yah inside of a person. This is the first step of the children of Israel becoming a holy nation again.